Welcome back to Credit Nerdery with your boy Genius. Credit Nerdery come to you, Ironic Financial. I hope all is well. We haven't dropped anything in a while. Today we want to discuss identity theft. Identity theft is one of the biggest issues that we have in the credit space. There's not much that is being said about it, so I just want to make a short video here discussing how to clean your credit if you're a victim of identity theft. Welcome back to Credit Nerdery. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And please remember to share, support the channel as we continue to bring you life-changing content. I just want to tell you, if you're a victim of identity theft, or if you are a credit specialist and you have individuals that you are working on their credit and they are victims of identity theft, there is a very simple way to address the issue. So I just want to walk you through the steps. If you are a victim of identity theft, you have 4 things that you need to actually do, and the bureaus have a certain time frame that they need to respond to you when you submit the 4 things that you need to. So if you're a victim of identity theft, you need to file first FTC report. But before you file the FTC report, you need to go to any one of the major credit bureaus, or if you have not, pull your credit on annualcreditreport.com, which is a government website that you pull your consumer reports. So you pull that, you walk through it, look at every account, inquiry, or whatever else is there that need to be deleted, and you go and file your FTC report. You go to identitytheft.gov, which is the FTC website, that you go and file your identity theft report. When you go there, you're going to have several pages that you have to fill out and several things that you have to have. But this is very crucial. As you file it, make sure that you look on each of your credit report from the major bureaus and make sure that the report that you file is specific to the issues that you have with each of the bureau. For example, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that sometimes one account is showing on one bureau and it's not showing on the other. What you don't want to make a general report and have accounts on one that when you send it to a particular bureau, so for example, you have an account on your TransUnion, but when you look on Equifax, it's not there. When you look on Experian, it's not there. So when you make that report, you just put the account that is on the TransUnion and send that to them. And then you add the accounts that is on Experian, make a report specific to those accounts, send it to them. Same is true for Equifax. How you get to do that very easily, when you file the identity theft report, when you get to the almost the end of doing it, it's going to ask you if you want to create an account. Create the account. When you create the account, you will be able to edit the identity theft report, so it becomes easier for you to make the modification, to make and then you print it or you download it to your device or whatever you want to do with it, whichever way you're submitting the dispute. When you actually create the account, you're able to go back after a while and keep modifying that report. If you don't do anything to it, after a while the report will vanish, basically, and you have to create a new one. But if you don't create the account when you're on identitytheft.gov, while you're doing it, once you finish doing the report and you save it or print it, that's it. You won't have back access to it. So it's best if you create that account where you can keep going back there and modify, because sometimes you will do probably a round one and you might get off some of the alleged, not alleged, because you're not supposed to be filing this if you don't have a legitimate reason to, because as I said, it is a sworn affidavit and it can get you into problem if you falsely file one of these reports. When you file the report, you ought to hold it, right? After you do that, make sure if you do round one and you don't get what you want off, you go back. Whatever came off, you modify the report that you have there and just allow it to only have the ones that remain. Because sometimes when you are doing cleaning your credit for reasons of identity theft, sometimes you don't get everything off at once, and you have to do a next round. You have to do a next round. And sometimes the companies and the credit bureau try to play hard end on you. Once you do that, then you're going to need to have a proof of address to go with this report. It can be a credit card statement, bank statement, a bill, or whatever that function as your proof that you live at the address that you are. A copy of your ID, preferably a driver's license, but you can use a passport. But a copy of your ID. Why I say preferably a driver's license? Because your driver's license has an address on it, basically. So as a result, you will be able to corroborate the information that you are supplying with your proof of address. Then you also need to write a letter describing that you're a victim of identity theft and list the accounts in that letter and the information in that letter that is fraudulent, whether it be addresses, whether it be odd inquiries, whatever else is there that are identity theft related. You need to list that clearly in the letter as well as on the identity theft report. Once you do that and you send it into the bureau, you can either upload it to the CFPB if you want to make it faster, or upload it to the website of the credit bureaus, or you mailed it in. Fastest way is to upload it online, and within a day you will start to see them responding. What happens when you submit this, according to the FCRA, within 5 days, the credit bureau should block and delete the accounts that you have there. But what ends up happening, because they are forwarding the information to the creditors, because once you open an indirect dispute, because when you dispute with the credit bureau, it's an indirect dispute. When you dispute with the creditor, it's a direct dispute. So once you open an indirect dispute, they have a responsibility to forward the information that you have supplied to the creditor. So that will allow them sometime to take more than the 5 days, but the law said within 5 days they should block and delete it, right? But most times they don't honor this. Sometimes they move quick. A lot of times they draw it out over the 30-day period or whatever it is, because according to the law, they must do a reasonable investigation, and the law says within 5 days, but they use the 30-day reasonable investigation requirement to draw out the process so they can do a more thorough check. And sometimes it's not even more thorough, it's more so to try and keep that information from being removed. So once you supply that, then you do that. I would also advise you to contact the creditor, and sometimes some of the creditors have special forms that they need you to actually fill out in order to help with the process. And you contact them, allowing them to know that you need to speak to the fraud department, and you report that the account that is open in your name or whatever information, the inquiry or whatever it is fraud. And that's supposed to do the job. Sometimes, however, some of these companies try to use stall tactics or delay tactics, or outrightly try to violate your right and tell you that you need to supply them with more information. Sometimes what they are telling you that you need to supply, there is not any specificity that exists with it. They're supposed to tell you what they are looking for. But according to the law, those 4 things that I tell you that you need, that is good enough to get your credit clean, because they're supposed to do a reasonable investigation to determine whether or not the account is fraud or not. But they will tell you, oh, you need to supply a police report. No, the FTC identity theft report is good enough to use. You don't need a police report in order to do it. If they are telling you that, they are violating your rights. They're telling you, oh, you need to submit this and you need to submit that to become more burdensome. It's a violation. Okay? But if they ask for more information, if you have information that you can help with, then you provide it. But to tell you to go and get a police report and you have to file a police report and all that, that is a violation of your right. Right? So sometimes these companies do this. And as I said, sometimes they will require you to fill out a document that they actually use for their internal purposes. They ask you to do that, then you just do it. And that's supposed to get the job done in cleaning your credit. Once you contact the bureaus will usually forward the dispute. Once it's identity theft, the law, the FCRA requires that any one of the bureau that gets that dispute must contact the other two, and automatically they're going to put a fraud alert on your credit report. Once that fraud alert is on, anytime you try to do a transaction, you will have to do multiple steps authentication to verify your identity, because now it's on your file that you're a victim of identity theft. So creditors ought not to issue any form of accounts or new credit to you without doing proper verification to verify that it's actually you who is committing it. So the fraud alert usually lasts that the short-term one usually lasts 1 year, but you can actually get it off before the year if you call in and tell them that you want to take it off your credit report. Because as I said, once that fraud alert is on, it will allow the process for you getting credit to be a bit more tedious, because they want to make sure that it is you. You have also the extended fraud alert, which lasts for 7 years. You can also add that if you want. But as I said, when your file is stating that fraud is associated with you, creditors are more jittery in giving you credit and interacting, extending risk where credit is concerned. So after you get the things off, I would advise you to just get that fraud alert off your credit report and remove the statement, because both the fraud alert and a statement will be added to your credit file after you notify them that you're a victim of identity theft. So that's basically what you need to get your credit and the accounts and information that is on your consumer report to get it clean. And it's supposed to take 5 days for them to block and delete it. But as I said, the bureaus and the creditors violate us so much that they believe that they don't have to follow anything that is in the law, and usually you take you more than the 5 days to get it blocked and delete. So that's what you need for now. I hope that this video was helpful to you. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I will be coming with more to you on identity theft, but for now, we'll keep it short. Use that information in your credit. Remember again what you need: the FTC identity theft report. Where you go and get it: identitytheft.gov. You need a proof of address. You need either bill, bank statement, credit card statement, your ID, and also put together a letter making a statement concerning the fraudulent accounts that is in your name. Once you have those 4 things, I would admonish you, submit it to the creditor as well as the bureau, because one of the things that happen, according to the law, once you initiate a dispute, all relevant documentation must be sent to the creditor once you initiate it through the bureau. But a lot of times, the bureau just send across a code, and sometimes the creditor use that code and because they don't follow over all of this that you just sent in, the creditor will write you and tell you that, oh, we need more information and what you sent is not sufficient. Even though according to the law, that's all you need. But because the credit bureaus didn't send over all your stuff, the creditor sometimes will come back and tell you that and hold their account. So I would admonish you to send the same information to both the credit bureau and the creditor. But I would modify the identity theft report to just have that creditor on it while you do that and send that in. And this is what you need to clean your credit. Peace. I'm out until our next video. There'll be more videos coming on identity theft, collections, late payment, order inquiry. See the order inquiry video, see the late payment video, but we have more content coming. Peace. Have a wonderful and a blessed day.